welcome to the Do It All Dad Year podcast. What Gen X dads understand. Shabbat Shalom. This is the never-ending prick. Does cocaine make you a manipulative prick, or were you one to begin with, without any added stimulative effort? As co-op board member number one with stone cold detachment, a 50-something, well-dressed CFO who never met a Brooks Brothers striped shirt he didn't like. The manipulative prick wiggles in his wobbly wicker chair and swallows a big gulp of saliva to extract some last-second drips from the blast of cocaine he did moments prior. In his Tudor-style apartment within the river town of Dobbs Ferry, New York, about 30 minutes north of his old-school buying spot in Washington Heights, from Julio Silverblade III, before his co-op eviction trial began. The manipulative prick, otherwise known as Sir Snort-a-Lot, loved doing cocaine, mainly on the weekends, though, when he wasn't working. So what harm was there in that? Besides his addiction to speed spilling into other spheres of his life, such as rapidly fading domestic bliss after getting married to a nurse who was growing tired fast of his liar liar nose on fire routine too. Last month, when the newlyweds received their first of many more noise complaints to come, the manipulative prick, a 40-year-old phone sales rep for Verizon, says, "Relax, babe. Our neighbor, the retired accountant, complains about our alarm clock being too aggressively loud for his taste, but he's just lonely and miserable since his wife died and is redirecting his rage at the world and me because his life sucks compared to mine. That's all." Wife Kate, a 35-year-old, one-time divorced, pretty, yet worn down looking ER nurse, says with wary disgust, "You're a 40-year-old cokehead who sells smartphones for a living, which sell themselves. Plus, he has one full set of hair more than you do. So what is he so jealous about exactly? Your tar stains on your two front teeth? Is he jealous about how your best friends are druggy, alcoholic degenerates like yourself who make more money and are more career secure? You think he longs for lustful urges to get pegged by trannies at 4 in the morning because he can't ejaculate into his wife's fairly tight, duty-free snatch? Holla! Thank you very much! Or is the accountant jealous of how you still have to call up mommy and daddy for help with the rent because your money management skills are so piss poor for a Jewish cokehead your Hebrew name is under judicial review? Maybe he's jealous about you being a no-show uncle who's more likely to remember the spread on the Giants game 5 years ago than your brother's kids' birthdays, despite one of them being born on New Year's Day, who was nicknamed number one Capricorn moron. Holla! Thank you very much! Now, the manipulative prick starts to defend himself against charges of being an annoying, loudmouth, serially selfish, ungrateful, spoiled, rotten neighbor bitch who deserves to stay in his humble one-bedroom apartment in Dobbs Ferry for another day, and says, "First off, I take incredible offense being labeled as a manipulative prick of any kind. Then, a freak of nature happens as a bulge in his pants emerge, which concerns him immediately, because normally anal stimulation is needed on coke to get him erect with aroused interest at all these days. The manipulative prick looks down at his swelled bulge, smiles amusingly at it, and continues his customary bullshit artist ways, insisting, "Stop treating me like Bernie Madoff. I'm not screwing anyone out of money here." This time, the manipulative prick makes a near deafening sound by smashing up against the table he's sitting behind for his eviction trial, sounding like a battering ram just made full-blown contact against it. Now the co-op board number Now the co-op board member number one snaps out of his ice-cold veneer and says, "Causing more noise commotion during your eviction notice hearing already? You really do know how to make a sustained, shitty impression. Is your middle name Automatic Fuck Up or what?" Now the manipulative prick starts getting a rapid surge of heart palpitations, especially after glancing down to his lap at his middle appendage, noticing how it now resembles the almighty hammer of Thor. Co-op board member 2, a wrinkly, diminutive, yet feisty, retired realtor chimes in and says, "How are we supposed to believe you'll become an oasis of calm or an embodiment of measured normalcy compared to all of our other 50 plus and over tenants when you can't even sit still and remain commotion free during your final eviction notice hearing? Just try not to be so out of control, boozy, drugged out loud when consequences for your got to have satisfaction at my nose wherever I want behavior has never been greater." The manipulative prick takes a sip of water on the table in front of him, the same aftershock table that shook all the cobweb corners loose in the room prior, in addition to the realtor's wig, and says, "All I do on the weekends is smoke weed and watch Giant games alone. My wife works the weekend shift, especially since COVID hit these days. I don't even see my friends do coke anymore, especially since I got into weed oils, which don't stink up the hallways nearly as much." Now, a humongous dick blasts through the manipulative prick's pants, blasting straight through the Art Deco tin ceiling to a fancy schmancy chandelier, while looking more like the worm giant from Dune, as all the co-op board members duck for cover under their judgment table, as shards of glass fly across the room in every conceivable direction. Co-op board member number 2, squatting underneath the table for cover, with a look of abject, confused, bewildered terror on her face, screams, "What the fuck is that? The Neverending Prick?" The end. Shabbat Shalom, and I'll talk to you guys soon.